How we doing, everyone? MJS back again with another house vlog here. Our first home, doing it, all the stuff. Welcome. Thank you very much for tuning in. Today is October 28th. I just got here. I'm actually gonna be staying here tonight because tomorrow I have to sell a dresser in the morning, and also the TVs in the garage are gonna get picked up. And interestingly, just before I got here, probably a couple hours or whatever before I got here, somebody asked if they, on Facebook Marketplace, because I'm down here in the showroom, right? If I flip the camera around, they asked if they could get this guy here, this corner piece. So I just got here. They're gonna be here in just a few minutes, so I gotta just wipe these off a little bit. It's in great condition. I mean, I don't really need to do anything. And then I bagged up their little pieces for the shelves there to hang those on there. But yeah, so this is exciting. Hopefully they come here, hopefully they buy it, and smooth transaction, and we'll have another piece gone, and we'll have some more money in our joint checking account to pay the bills. So I'll give you an update here soon. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I might be the Facebook Marketplace king. No, I don't know about that necessarily, but like I know I said this probably in like the last episode, last time I sold something. It's amazing. Again, just put the shit online, put a price on it, take some good pictures, decent description, and people will buy that shit. And actually, I'll give you one more pro tip here, since you're so nice to watch these vlogs. Here's a pro tip. When you list something on Facebook Marketplace, I just learned this because I noticed it in the UI of Facebook. You list something on there, you let it be there for like a few days, a week, or whatever. Because that's what I did with some of this stuff here. And then on the bottom of the listing, it will say two things. There's probably more analytics, but these are the two that I just saw, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna act on these. It'll say how many views your listing got, and it'll say how many saves your listing got. Views is, I would assume, just somebody clicking on it and looking at it, but saving is like somebody actually clicked on the listing, was interested in enough to press save on it, to like, I guess it'll notify them if the price changes or something. So anyone that I see that has saves, I lower the price like $5 or $10 or whatever. And that's what I did with this piece. Pretty sure that's what I did with this piece today. And I did it with a couple other ones that had saves as well. So there's a pro tip for you on Facebook Marketplace, randomly thrown in there. But again, I'm just so blessed too, because like these people that have been like buying this stuff are so nice. Like this guy like had connections with him through hockey somehow. Then like I didn't know him, but you know, it's a small world or whatever. So it's just cool. You know, I enjoy it. I get a couple bucks, or me and Amanda get a couple bucks to pay the mortgage and the bills and everything like that. And they get nice little pieces of furniture that, you know, weren't necessarily going to fit our decor anyway. So everybody wins. It's fantastic. Essentialism, minimalism, clear out your clutter, all the stuff that I normally say. Just do it because it's great. And you make a couple bucks in the meantime, maybe meet some good people. It's great. All right, well, that was a big thing, timely, like a deadline thing that I had to take care of. Now I'm gonna go, I have this other dresser here. We're getting pretty low here on the showroom. This dresser is supposed to go tomorrow at noon. Hopefully everything works out there, but you know, we'll see on that. This one hasn't gotten anything just yet. I might, I don't know about this TV. We're probably ultimately not gonna use this, but I don't know. You know, then we got a couple other things over here that I've talked about already, but we're getting lower on the showroom. Look at that. Getting things out of here. That's always good. But I don't know what I'm going to do necessarily just yet. Had a couple things on my list that I can't remember, but we'll do flooring, we'll do something, and we'll talk soon. We just gotta keep going. All right, so now I'm a bit aggravated because we got this new handle, beautiful new door handle here on the from Kwikset. It's a Halifax. It looks great. And I just don't understand. Like, there's so many things from this process that I just haven't understood. Why is there nothing? Why is like nothing standard? Like, I don't get it. So you look over here to this door and you're like, okay, cool. So maybe I could use this thing in here. Okay, I guess that would work, because right now, like, the thing is, I think, rounded here. All right, that would not have been a problem. And then I was like, okay, well, this, because the other thing was like, there's a different set that looks just like this. It's from a company called Knobwell. It's on Amazon. and it doesn't have a strike plate like this. It's got some sort of goddamn like T thing going on here. It's not like a half moon. It's taller or something. I don't know. So then I come over here and I'm like, all right, well, let's see how this would work. And it's not really the greatest. It would probably work. I could probably get it to finagle it, even if I had to take this little, piece off there or something. I don't know. Maybe. Okay, whatever. All right, whatever. Cool, cool, cool. Let's take the actual doorknob and try to, get her to go in here. And what the fuck, man? How is this even? How the fuck is this even? How is this doorknob or this doorknob hole here? How is that too small to fit a fucking thing? Like, how are you gonna make this thing bigger than like a regular door? Like, there wasn't this. These weren't like really tiny door handles in here. They were regular sized fucking door handles, and this doesn't fit in here. Are you kidding me? Like, is this like a normal thing? Why is this like a normal thing in like renovation, remodeling, house, shit, where like things are not standard whatsoever? Like a doorknob. Like, I'm not talking like some random piece in like a foyer or something. I'm talking a fucking doorknob hole. Ridiculous. So I don't know what I'm gonna do. I mean, I have options. I would assume every door in this house is very similar, so I could either drill that out, I guess, make it bigger, if all the rest of it works, every single one of those, or I could just, this was kind of a test case. I'm glad I didn't buy more. So, or I could just try to find a different door handle, or just be a bitch and just get rid of the door handle idea and just go with knobs. I don't know. I just don't understand. Like, I know that you have to do a decent amount of finagling to get certain things to work. That just perplexes the fuck out of me. How did you make? And why did I not see that in any of the reviews? Are these like small? Maybe these are super under standard size. I don't know. Damn, that's annoying though. That is really aggravating. I was really looking forward to seeing that on the door. Well, I don't know. We'll figure out something else. A little bit of a quick update here because I'm really not sure what to do next. I was really excited about that handle. But the flooring, I don't know if I can really do it because I don't really have anything to cut in that spot still. I didn't get a jigsaw off of like my dad or whatever, so I gotta maybe hold off on that. I might do some more painting, like clean the walls and paint in the hallway or whatever. But I was looking at this the other day, and when I got here, I realized that I didn't finish this project. So down here at the front of the house, this is the front door here, and then these are the steps to the basement. There was carpet like to, right past this little black spot, I guess, like right here. You can kind of see like past this radiator here, right before the doorway. So this was always hardwood, right in this general area. And for some reason, I'm not really exactly sure what the purpose of this was, but there was a little metal transition. You can see like where this line is going down there, but it wasn't doing anything. Like, literally wasn't doing anything at all. I don't know if there was carpet here at one point. You would think maybe there's carpet on the step coming up because these steps are obviously carpeted. I have no idea. But I took it out of there just as a small little thing because we're, if I haven't gotten to steps. I barely even laid any vinyl flooring, but I would assume what we're gonna have to do here is lay the vinyl flooring up to the steps and then kind of curve it over with like a little nose piece thing or whatever. Like a, just a shoe nose. I don't know. Some sort of thing. I've seen them before, but I don't know enough about them. But then that's another question too, is what do we do on the steps? Right now, obviously they're carpeted, but I was thinking, could we vinyl the steps and then put a carpet runner down the middle? I don't know. Maybe that's an option, but we're not even going past the steps right now because we are absolutely not there yet. But I took that little guy out. That was easy. There were screws rather than nails. That was kind of interesting to me. Yeah, so I don't know. Amanda's come with Chick-fil-A here pretty soon, so I might just kind of wait, and I have some work to do on my computer, so I honestly might do that. I am so upset about that goddamn handle, but we'll get over it, and we'll figure out an alternative. All right, we're in the hallway upstairs, and Amanda came. We had some Chick-fil-A. That was yummy. And then we kind of did a little bit of work. She had to go home because she's got to work tomorrow. But we're in this hallway here, and this is kind of where we're doing our stuff. So obviously we got the pantry and everything looking nice. I painted this back wall last time. I noticed a couple things as we were in here, kind of, you know, just like looking over some stuff. There was a couple runs, I kind of like chipped them off a little bit, and then just there's some spackle on a couple places or whatever. I'm gonna try to just go over that because there's definitely a couple little missed spots here. But the wall's looking pretty good. It's white. Might like take this thing off slightly and kind of paint around it or whatever, don't know. Haven't done the ceiling yet at all in here, and I am not like the kind of the reason that that I didn't do it yet and I've been procrastinating there is because there's this crack like this, and I asked my parents just like what they kind of thought what I should do with that, like just spackle it or whatever. And I'm not sure if it needs more attention, so I've kind of just been putting off painting the ceiling. But I could probably paint like that little piece and, you know, continue down the walls and everything. Because Amanda cleaned the hallway. She kind of cleaned the walls and everything. So, you know, we were just right up until there. Probably continue over here and kind of take care of this. I did spackle a couple other little places or whatever. I don't know. Just, we got to get more paint on the wall in here because we are actually doing pretty well. I mean, if we can get this area done in here, I don't know, be looking pretty good. Then I was over here, and this is our pantry, and we had like wooden shelves in here, kind of similar to how the linen closet was, but they were, I wish I would, I mean, there's probably a video somewhere else, but they weren't all the way out. Like, if you can kind of see here, they were probably only until like, you know, this far. So like we had a lot more room. So what I'm actually thinking about doing is Amanda cleaned in here, and I'm gonna paint it just like I did the pantry. But what I think we might try, I mean, this is a big space. Like you might not be able to tell on camera, lens is kind of tight, but like this is a pretty big area in here, and then it's got this weird, you know, thing because it's right over the steps. But I think that if we painted it all white, and I think we could do even some cooler things with storage. Like you could at least have 3 shelves like you did, but I don't know. I really think we could even add more. I'm not 100% sure how we'll do it or if we'll do it, but at the minimum, I think that I'm going to get bigger pieces of wood, like bigger white pieces of wood for the shelving, because like I said, this top one was, I think honestly, only like halfway out. And I don't know, I just think that we'd get more storage out of this little pantry here because we don't really have too much else other than this. I don't know, just a thought, regardless of what we do with the shelves, because I still have them, they're right over there by all that flooring. Regardless of what we do with that, I gotta paint this. So I will probably be doing that this evening. I think I mentioned earlier that tomorrow morning the waste management at your door service thing is coming. And outside here, I have 3 TVs, that like big cathode ray tube TVs that we took out there. And this third one that we took out there, heavy as hell. I had to roll it up the steps because I thought if Amanda and I carried it, like one of us was gonna die. So I'm gonna show you real quick. I don't know how well you'll be able to see them, but I just put them out by the tree there. That's a good one. But yeah, so God bless them because that's heavy as hell. Okay, it is 1:30 a.m. on October 29th, technically, right? You know, update, last thing we were talking about painting in here. I had to get on a call at 10:30 for a different project, unrelated. And I was trying to record a video. Actually, I'll talk about this real quick. I was trying to record a video right before that on this jerry-rigged setup in the kitchen. And I was trying to finally actually record this video that I've been talking about in several of these vlog episodes that shows the renders that we did and shows like all the stuff we want to do to the house. And I was like, you know, I have some time, I'll try to do it here on my laptop and like the camera, and I had it all so hooked up and it works. Like, you know, the thing worked. I was even doing it on the a nice pod mic from the podcast studio, and the camera was overheating at one point, and my laptop was like basically running at like 100% CPU and memory and all that, and then the thing that I was using to save the file, like, you know, like the record the screens, Streamlabs OBS, it was skipping frames, so it was just a pain in the ass, whatever. Didn't happen. I have to go home and do that on the big setup at some point. But whatever, I was aggravated about that. Got on that call, and then for the last like 2 hours, I guess, 11:30 to now, I don't even know what happened. I just decided that I was just gonna paint a lot. And so I'm gonna kind of show this hallway here. Well, let me talk about it before I show that. I mean, I would love to lay some floor, but I don't have the proper tools, I think, to cut in certain spots. But once we get going on that, I think that's gonna be a relatively fast job. But I'm not just gonna sit around. So this wall was already painted white. I think that little piece of it was as well. And I was like, okay, well, we can't really paint the ceiling. I think I talked about this in the last clip because there's that little thing. Normally I like to paint the ceiling before the walls, but I don't know what to do about that. So I was just gonna leave it. And I decided, okay, well, I'm gonna start painting. So I painted like up there, need to finish in there. I painted this whole wall over here all white. And then I painted this little middle strip, and then like, kind of, brought them together there and painted all this down here. So if you look like kind of from this area, the pantry or that linen closet was already done, and I just painted all of the wall. I painted all the wall there, painted all the wall here, painted this entire pantry as well. I did paint the ceiling in there. Need a touch up, obviously, cut in a little bit. But this was brown. This was like brown hardwood, but it wasn't really like hardwood. It was just like almost like subfloor wood, I guess. And I just painted it white. So it's all white, everything's gonna be white in here. And then, yeah. So these were brown, brown wood like it was in the linen closet, and I painted them white. I told myself that from now on, I wasn't gonna paint any trim or any wood or any doors without sanding first, because I think that's what I'm supposed to be doing, just to make sure that it stays on there a little bit better. But I also tried on like one of the pieces of trim to like scratch at it and see if like it would come off. It's not really coming off. I mean, I think it will stay pretty good. The paint's pretty high quality. I'm putting at least 2 coats on like the stained portions. But I probably shouldn't. I should probably sand anything stained, right? I think that's the way it is. I've been wondering what to do here, and I think you're supposed to sand, but we haven't yet. But also I haven't, I kind of let these go, like this little trim around these doors and such. So maybe we'll sand, or maybe I'll just get lazy and just not sand. I don't know, but we'll figure that out. But I'm excited about where we're at here. Definitely did a lot in this hallway. I'm gonna have to definitely touch some things up, but moving forward, as far as like what else I'm gonna do, I'm probably gonna hit the hay here pretty soon. I might grab that little spot there, and I wanted to stop right before the kitchen. So I don't know if that's technically in the kitchen or not in the kitchen, but I don't know, because I don't know what we're gonna do with the kitchen yet. It's a whole cluster in there. We're gonna have to figure out what we're gonna do. Obviously there's stuff in there, but again, remodeling and such, I don't know. I don't know if that's not really a now project. So I'll probably just try to touch up like on the ceiling here a little bit. Well, not the ceiling, but where the wall meets the ceiling. And I'd like to paint the whole ceiling and everything like that, and just get this kind of done. Like I said, didn't do that trim down there, but I did take the quarter round off. Took the quarter round off in this hallway, so that's all done. And we'll get that. I took the cover plates off. That one's kind of dusty down there. But we're moving. There's probably some things I need to spackle too, so I will probably take that, do that a little bit, definitely on the ceiling and such. Just doing a lot of painting. It's really what we're doing. But pretty soon, we'll tackle all that floor. Okay, it is the next day, October 29th. I slept here last night. It's like 2-ish in the afternoon, and I've been working all morning. Couple updates real quick. The Trashman, the at your door waste management thing, if you have that, you should definitely check that out. They came and they got the TVs that were heavy as hell that I had to take out last night. So that's good. Somebody got them, at least. I don't know. I didn't see them come get them, but somebody did. So they're gone. That's great. And then I was supposed to sell a dresser at noon. That didn't happen because it was like rainy out. And they wanted to reschedule. So we're going to do that next week, hopefully. But we still have more stuff down there. We're getting the old furniture and everything out of there. So that's good. Slowly but surely. I could have painted more last clip or whatever. I painted in this hallway. Looking pretty good. I'm probably going to sand those doors. I actually found a little sander this morning as well downstairs, so I might try to do that at some point, but probably not today. I didn't really feel like doing any painting work right now. I'm in the bedroom, and I have been playing around with this floor for hours. Not because it's difficult, but because I want to fully understand it, and that's just kind of how I was doing it. So I have watched hours, if not days, of content over the last 2 months of how to lay vinyl plank flooring from many different creators. I'll put all their links in the description because they can explain this way better than me. I'm not going to make this a tutorial. I thought I was, but I'm not really going to. I'm just going to kind of roughly explain what I'm doing, and it's kind of like an amalgamation of all the stuff that I've seen. Maybe it'll help. I'll try to answer questions if any of you guys have questions, but honestly, they have tons of content, these other creators. These people that do it all the time. I'm just doing it one house, just one place. But let's take a look at where we're at currently, and I'll explain kind of what I've been doing so far. Okay, so this is kind of the lay of the land as it is right now. I've got this big strip over here, and I've got all of those over there. Now, this strip right here, this big rectangle, is not going to stay here. It is simply for the purpose of trying to understand the room dimensions and how the floor is going to look long ways, if that makes sense. Or, I guess width-wise. I don't know. But from there to here, the reason that I did here, I'll just talk about it. There's no real order here, but kind of in the order trying to do in the order that I did things. What I did was I measured from this right wall over that left wall. I measured it. I found the middle. The middle is marked on this floor. You can maybe see some black lines, but it's right where this floor is right now. That's the middle of the room. The reason I did that was because I want to understand how many specific planks, you can kind of see here, one of these planks is about 8 inches or so wide. There's 8 planks clicked together right here. And the reason I did that was because I want the floor to look somewhat symmetrical. That's at least what people say. So when you're looking, imagine a finished floor like this, right? At the left side and at the right side, you don't want and I don't know, in a good one, you don't really need to do this, but I guess this is what you're trying to avoid right here. Is you get to the end and you're wow, that's a really tiny little piece that sucks. So the way you avoid that is you would change the way that you lay this floor out. You kind of slide it over. You'd make sure that your first piece isn't, you don't put a full piece there, because if you did put a full piece, whatever. It's just planning. It's just planning it out, okay? I don't exactly know. Hopefully it works out that way. That way's a little more tougher because you have to put in a lot more planks to get to that point. But when you're first starting out, this way is a little bit more kind of straightforward as far as, the other length, the lengthwise of the planks. I'll try to give you an example here. If I just started right here at this wall and I put a full plank, I already did this, but I took them up because I, changed the way that I did it. But this room is just over 3 planks in length. Meaning that if I had a full plank, I'd have one full plank, another full plank, another full plank, and then there's 2 inches. I'd get to the end here to have 3 planks down, and this is how much room I have left here. Kind of the same situation on the other wall. And I was shit, I can't do that. So what do you have to do in that case? You gotta go down to the other end, and you gotta do something like I did. On this first one, you have to shorten up the first piece. So I don't know how much I took off of there, it doesn't really matter. The biggest thing, again, I apologize if that explanation was crap, but I'm gonna give you the tips that I learned this morning that just, when you understand them, it's okay, well, this makes this job a lot easier. The first thing is that you cannot, it physically doesn't make any sense with the way that this floor is laid in. You cannot have small pieces in the middle. You can only have small pieces on the ends because as soon as you cut one of these planks, you screw up one side of the connection. And I will show you exactly what I mean. There's a little tongue in here, okay? And then the other piece of it, I'll grab a plank. There's a little piece here, and then this other piece, there's a little bit of an overhang, and you just go in here, and I'm not gonna actually click it in, but you can kind of see, it just, you know, pops right in there, and you can hit it with a mallet or whatever. There's a better way to kind of like slide it in, but the point is that there's a connector on either side. There's like a male and a female end, right? But when you cut one of the pieces, this is what you're left with, right? You're just left with nothing. Like, you can't connect that. So whatever side this is, you know, it's got to go up against the wall and go underneath your quarter round or under your baseboard or whatever. So I felt like a complete idiot when I realized, like, I was thinking, like, because this room is like just a weird dimension, and it's just 2 inches past the plank, I was like, what the hell? How am I going to lay this out? Can I have short pieces in the middle? What should I do? No, like, you can't. So it actually makes it way easier, because all you have to do is you just have to come to your left side here, and I've already cut some and made kind of mistakes, but I can use them. But all you have to do is start at the beginning, and just like, I've seen some really good stuff online. Like, people say, like, okay, if you can't use a full board or whatever, use like a quarter of a board, or like a 3/4 of a board, 2/4 of a board, or this, I think some of these are like a third or whatever, and just make it random. Just make it completely random. And as soon as I heard that, I was like, okay, that makes a lot of sense, and I can't put small pieces in the middle, so that just makes the job easier. This is the first room. You know, this is the first room that I'm doing this in. First time ever doing this. Just, there's a lot of things that I just didn't really understand at first. But the only other thing that I'll say is, I haven't really laid a lot and like actually clicked them in, but you really seems like you kind of have to, like, not force them, but I'm really having to hit them with the mallet. So I'm just trying to get a better finesse at like putting them in. But the flooring is coming along. It's gonna look great. As soon as I get the right tools here, this job is gonna go lightning fast, I think. So let's talk about that for a second. Again, I've watched a lot of videos that tell you all about the stuff, and I haven't even done anything. The only thing I've used so far, literally, let me show you. The only thing that I've used right now so far is actually a piece of vinyl that I found in the basement that I figured, well, this is pretty square, right? So I've literally been cutting, using that as like a carpenter square, because I don't have one right now. And then I've been using just a utility knife. This is a pretty nice knife. I'll put links for everything in the description. And then the rubber mallet. But what I would like, and what would make this job a hell of a lot easier, is a few things. The first thing is knee pads, 100%, just obviously. The second thing is, if I could get a vinyl or like a laminate or tile cutter, that would make the job go a lot faster, because then you would just put the piece in the tile cutter or whatever, slam it down, and boom, you have a nice edge and you're good. That would make those long cuts easier, or when you're cutting them to length. Then the other big thing is, at some point, I'm gonna need 2 different types of cuts. At some point, like towards, you know, the beginning and the end there, if I wanna make it symmetrical, I am going to need to cut a board, like a long plank like this. I'm gonna need to cut it lengthwise to make it thinner, right? And I don't have a circular saw. So I think a circular saw is the easiest for that. You could also use a jigsaw. We will probably need a jigsaw for if we want to cut around something like down there, like a little pipe or whatever. And I've got a lot of rooms to do, and I'm not exactly sure what we're getting into with everything, because I haven't inspected every single thing. But I know, like, those would definitely help. Some sort of tile cutter. You don't need a tile cutter. You could just do it with the knife, but a tile cutter might be, I think I could borrow one, so that would be cool. A jigsaw, circular saw. If I had those tools and knee pads, if I had that stuff, I might be done with this floor already, because it's just, once you understand it and then you have the proper efficiency, I think you're off to the races. But that's the floor saga for right now. It's gonna be fine. We're gonna get it laid here. Again, if I had the right stuff, we could probably just bang it out in less than a day, I would assume. But we shall see. But yeah, so that's where we're at. That's where we're at right now. I am probably not going to do much more again until I get that stuff. And yeah, we shall see what is next. All right, it's a couple hours later. It's like 4 o'clock. I'm still here because I'm a glutton for punishment with this floor. I got my first injury because I was trying to snap a plank that was only a couple inches. I don't know where it's at, but it was only a couple inches, which is not really recommended. As I mentioned before, we need the right tools. It's not a big deal, it's just a cut. It's funny though. I want to chat real quick about what I've been doing here, and we're really starting to get the hang of it, so just a couple things here. So currently we have 3 rows pretty much complete. I mean, they're spaced out appropriately, they look great. Obviously we still need to deal with the first row. That's a separate issue though, trying to cut and everything. I am not gonna go too much further. I'm actually gonna be done very soon, if not right now, because this floor gets very heavy and you're not gonna be able to move it. So 3, 4 rows is probably absolute max that you wanna do before you figure out what the hell you're doing in the first row. But anyway, let's take a look at these first 3 rows just real quick. What I ended up doing was I cut a little bit. You can see the joint right there, and then there's a little joint right there, and then this one's a little longer. So it's definitely staggered, it's pretty good. And then the same kind of thing here. You can barely even see the joints. I mean, it's all about strength of the floor is why you want to stagger them. So it's looking pretty good. The gaps on the sides are good. The only thing that I really wanted to mention was that when I'm cutting this, and I mentioned it before, when you're cutting them, depending on like how you cut and stuff, and if, especially in this case, since like, you know, I'm doing like different things on right and left, but I mean, you would have to do that in any installation, I guess. But because I'm doing that, you're gonna like get waste pieces, but they're not really waste pieces because you can use them again. But what I'm actually doing here is I'm actually trying to not waste this stuff down here either, because generally what you do is you cut a piece and then it goes down to that side. But on this 4th row, what I tried to do was I tried to take this piece that was a waste piece, but it's cut over here, and I put it in first. And I'm kind of like working backwards in this row. And then I'm gonna come down here. I'm gonna grab this guy and I'm gonna cut a little bit off over there so he fits in here nicely. Now at this point right here, I'm starting to realize why people tell you to get like 10% extra, because there's no way that you could not waste plank. Like, you're absolutely going to waste shit. And that, in all the stuff that I watched, and until I really got on the floor and started fucking around with this, I didn't understand that. You are absolutely going to waste pieces, because in that case, like I just showed you right there, and this piece that cut me, this piece that cut me down in my prime, you are always gonna have pieces that are like this small that are cut on both sides. Like, there's no way around it unless your floor is exactly some sort of length or something like that. But even still, like, I don't think there's a way, I don't think there's any way that you could possibly do it, at least from my understanding, because I'm trying to not waste anything on both sides, and I know that I'm still gonna have pieces like this that you literally can't use. So that's just the point, is maybe you plan a little better and you can waste less, but you're definitely gonna waste some. And I didn't realize that at first, and nobody ever like made that clear, but you are absolutely gonna waste it, because as soon as you cut both sides, you can't use it anywhere. Just something to think about. It's not a huge deal, it's gonna happen. But it was a realization that I had. But yeah, we're moving along. Like I said, as soon as we get the tools, we're literally done in 20 minutes, tops. Just kidding, but maybe. I don't know, pretty fast. I think I'm gonna go ahead and wrap the video up here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. As always, greatly appreciate it. It's been another episode of Our First Home, and let's keep going. This has been MJS with another video. We'll talk to you guys in the next one.